Hey everyone, welcome back to CODRAWGRAPHIC. This is the final video in our JavaScript Form Validation series. In this one, we are building a real-time password strength checker. If you haven't watched the earlier videos, make sure to go back and check them out. Let's start now. First, I create a function called checkPasswordStrength that takes a password as its input. The goal of this function is to analyze the password and return how strong it is based on several conditions. At the beginning of the function, I initialize two variables, score set to 0. This will help calculate the total strength, message to give the user a readable strength label like weak or strong. Next, I check the password for 5 specific conditions: minimum length, lowercase letters, uppercase letters, numbers, special characters. Each condition that the password satisfies increases the score by 1. After checking the conditions, the function uses the final score to determine a strength level and corresponding message. Finally, the function returns an object with all the details: the numeric score, the strength level as a label, a user-friendly message, and the individual booleans for each condition like has lowercase, has uppercase, has number. Next, I create a function called updatePasswordStrength. This function takes the strength object which we got from the checkPasswordStrength function and updates the UI based on the strength of the password. First, I reset the class name of the password strength bar by setting strength bar.className to strength bar. This removes any previous strength classes like strength weak or strength strong. Then I add a new class to strength bar using strength bar.classList.add. This dynamically applies the correct CSS class based on the current password strength. I also update the next label with a user-friendly message like weak password or very strong password using strength text content. To make the feedback more visual, I added a color update using a switch statement. If the password is weak, the text color changes to red. If it's medium, it becomes orange. And if it's strong or very strong, it turns green. These color variables come from CSS. I have already defined it. Now, I create a function called update password conditions. This function helps visually show which password rules are being met as the user types. Inside this function, I defined an object named conditions. It checks for 5 different rules. There are minimum 8 characters, at least one lowercase letter, at least one uppercase letter, at least one number, and at least one special character. Each condition is evaluated using regular expressions, and the result is stored as true or false in the conditions object. Then, I selected all the list items inside the password conditions list. Each of them represents one password rule. For every list item, I get its data condition attribute. If the rule is satisfied, I add the valid class to the list item, which can turn the text green or show a check mark depending on the CSS. If not, I remove that class to show it hasn't been met yet. Now, I update the validate password function to add password strength validation and visual feedback. First, the function is still check if the password field is empty. If it is, it hides the password feedback area by setting password feedback.style.display to none, and it shows an error message saying password is required using the show error function. But if the field is not empty, I show the password feedback section using password feedback.style.display equal to block. Next, I call the check password strength function and store the return object in a variable called strength. Then I pass this strength object into two functions. Update password strength to visually update the strength bar, and update password conditions to show which password rules are being met. Then I check the password strength score. If the score is less than 3, I show an error message saying password is too weak and return false. Now the password conditions are being updated properly. Now, I add the CSS styles that will control how the password strength bar looks and behaves based on the password's strength level. These visual indicators give the user immediate feedback as they type their password, encouraging them to use stronger, safer credentials. this was the last part of the series. If you missed the earlier videos, be sure to check them out to understand how HPS was built step by step. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. See you in the next coding tutorial.